I, a 31-year-old woman, have been with my husband, a 43-year-old man, for a decade, married for 6 months. I always thought I was overly sensitive because his cruel humor hurt me deeply. But reading a book on abuse made me realize my marriage isn't what I thought. I'm so thankful to have found this community and hope your perspectives can help me make sense of this and find a way to address it constructively with my husband. I always wanted children only after marriage, and now that we're married, I've started thinking seriously about it. But I've come to a painful realization. I can't bring a child into this dynamic without seeing changes in his behavior. While he has this one harmful trait, our relationship isn't outright verbally abusive, so I'm struggling to find resources or others with similar experiences. The good, he's an excellent provider, would be an entertaining father and is generous and encouraging. I love him and he loves me. The bad, his jokes are cutting and make me feel disrespected at my core. I'm okay, but when I picture myself as a child with a father like him, I can't imagine how damaged I'd be. I know I need to address this before we have kids. We've talked about this before, and he says it's just his personality, not directed only at me, and that I'm too sensitive. The problem, how do I approach this conversation? I'm not flawless, so how can I call out his faults? Is there a guide for this? I don't want it to feel like an ultimatum or like I'm attacking him. I feel terrible for not addressing this before we married. I want to frame this as us working together against the issue, not me versus him. How do I handle this? Update 1, I, 31F, have been with my husband, 43M, for 10 years, married for 6 months. After posting on an advice forum, I'm realizing this is a bigger issue than I thought. What do I do now? I'm struggling to process everything. I read Why Does He Do That? Yesterday and couldn't stop. While my husband shows some behaviors from the book, it's not frequent or extreme. It mainly comes down to his cruel jokes and unsolicited advice or criticism. That's it. Not all the time, either. I've been reflecting for 3 days, and he hasn't said anything hurtful in that time. But when he does, it lingers because it stings. Here's what I need help understanding. Could this be unintentional? His behavior mirrors his mother's, and he has low emotional awareness. I know he loves me deeply. I can't see him doing this on purpose. How can he be so wonderful, supportive, and kind in other ways? Do those qualities outweigh his flaws? He supports my career fully, covers all our expenses, and sacrifices so I can pursue my passion. How could someone who wants to hurt me do that? What if it's me? I'm sensitive and insecure. Sometimes I take neutral things personally when I'm down. Could this be a mix of his outdated, unfunny humor and my sensitivity to criticism? I think we both share some blame. Update 2, I spoke with my therapist, who I was seeing because my husband convinced me I had issues with emotional regulation and communication. I came prepared with research and specific examples of his manipulative, controlling, and belittling patterns. She was supportive but direct, suggesting I contact a local domestic violence organization to create a safe exit strategy and seek legal help for a divorce. She urged me to act quickly. I trust her, but I'm in shock. My world feels turned upside down. I'm torn between relief that others see this too and heartbreak because he's my best friend, my only support, and I can't imagine leaving him. I know I should leave, but I just want to talk to him and fix this, hoping it's all a misunderstanding. I'm devastated. I can't have kids in this environment, but leaving means I might end up alone and childless. I'll feel broken and ashamed. He'll want explanations or try to win me back. His lack of emotional awareness makes me think he won't even understand what I'm talking about. I want him to see what he's done, but I fear he never will. We're happy so often, and I don't know if I can leave. This is the worst update, but you were all right. For anyone in a similar situation, Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft was a revelation, perfectly describing behaviors I couldn't name. My husband fits the water torturer profile exactly. The domestic violence hotline, search for their text or chat services, has been incredibly helpful. I spent hours talking with people who truly understood, and it's been a lifeline. If you need help, please reach out. Update 3, I just found this community, and I'm so relieved to have a place to share with people who understand. I recently realized my 10-year relationship is unhealthy. No need for details because my husband matches the water torturer profile from Why Does He Do That? Perfectly. His sharp, cruel remarks are disguised as humor or helpful advice. He's relentless with criticism. His ability to DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender is almost impressive when I step back. These past few weeks have been a shock. I've learned I'm not the source of all our problems, I'm not a terrible wife, and this isn't normal. It's a mental whirlwind. I have an exit plan and am saving money for a few months before I leave. It's been a week and I'm exhausted. All the energy I used to spend molding myself into who he wanted, controlling my reactions and hiding my true self, it's never enough. Now I see his behavior in every interaction, and I'm cycling through anger, shame, excitement, and grief. I'm drained. I'm thrilled at the thought of living again, but surviving the next few months feels impossible. Update 4 background. My husband's verbal abuse and controlling behavior have worsened over our 10-year relationship. I've recently recognized the reality of our marriage and am planning my exit. As I've become more aware of his actions, it's been harder to keep up my perfect wife facade. I'm standing up for myself more, but I'm growing worried about my safety, though he's never been physically violent. Incident. Today, after I upset him by defending myself in a conversation, he spoke for over a minute about how he'd end me, claiming it was a joke. He said, roughly, that because I've been talking back lately, he'd end me while I slept since I'm a heavy sleeper. Then he backtracked, saying I'm surprisingly strong when asleep, tossing and turning, which might make it harder. He continued about how easy it would be, then said something that chilled me. If I'm going to the effort of ending you, I'd strangle you while you're awake. I'd want to see the fear in your eyes. I'd need to get something out of it. The specificity and its connection to me upsetting him make me fear for my safety between now and leaving, especially if he suspects my plans. My instincts tell me to involve the police and move up my exit timeline. Questions. Is what he said legally a threat? Is it actionable based solely on my word? What would likely happen if I reported it? Can I report this anonymously? Comment response. Queen null. Move up your exit plan immediately. Involving the police now could give him an advantage and escalate his anger. Secure your important documents ASAP and transfer funds from any joint accounts to one he can't access. Back up your photos and reset your phone to ensure he isn't tracking you. Change all passwords. Get out now. Op response. Thank you for the concern and advice. I'm preparing a go bag with essentials and documents. I'm on high alert and moving my exit plan forward significantly. Update 5. I'm not sure if anyone will see this, but I received so much support across various forums, so this feels like the best way to update. First, thank you all. Your encouragement, shared experiences, and challenges help me form my own perspective and advocate for myself. Without your reality checks, I'd likely still be stuck. The update, I'm out. It was a messy, nonlinear process filled with self-doubt. I want to share the moment it clicked. During our divorce discussions, he was on his best behavior, improving and asking, "Are you sure?" For a long time, I wasn't. He worked his charm, and I thought I might be making a huge mistake, but I listened to my gut. I tried saying, "No, let's fix this," but it felt heavy, like reclaiming a burden I'd just shed. I tried saying, "Maybe," and admitted I was confused and needed space. That felt constricting, like my body was being squeezed. Then one morning, I realized I hadn't tried saying yes, so I did. I told him, "Yes, I want this to end." It was like a weight lifted. My chest warmed like a hug from my mom. It felt right, so I held on to it. I'm learning to trust my instincts again and treat myself with the kindness I deserved all along. I'm not judging my journey. I'm on my own path now, and it feels incredible. Thank you all for your support. I'm happier and healthier than I've been in years. Next story, my girlfriend vanished for hours on the day we had wedding plans, and I panicked, fearing something happened to her. Then I discovered she was cheating with multiple men and texting them while I was searching for her. I, a 29-year-old man, caught my 31-year-old girlfriend cheating with undeniable proof after she lied to my face. We've been friends for 5 years and dating for 3. I loved her with all my heart and thought she felt the same. A few months ago, we hit a rough patch with constant arguments. I thought we might break up. I was devastated, battling severe depression. On the day we were supposed to attend a wedding together, we lived far apart and didn't have cars, but we were okay with the extra effort. That morning I asked when she'd come over so we could get ready. I offered to cover her Uber. She agreed, but hours passed with no word. I spiraled into a panic attack. Her location, which we shared, showed her in a random parking lot, not her home. I messaged her, no reply. Her location then turned off. I called repeatedly for 6 hours, terrified something happened. At 9:30 p.m., she finally answered, asking, "Are you okay?" I broke down, sobbing, asking if we were okay. She said her phone died and she was with school friends. I believed her because she'd never lied before, or so I thought. The next day, I was too depressed to get out of bed. She came over to comfort me, but something felt wrong. I tried to dismiss it as my imagination. That morning, I charged her Apple Watch and saw messages to her school friend from the wedding day. One said he was whispering in my ear. Another mentioned covering hickeys. These were sent at 9:30 p.m. while I was crying on the phone with her. When she came out of the bathroom, I noticed marks on her neck. She claimed they were from scratching. On our way to work, I asked about the messages. She said she lied to her friend to seem cool. I didn't believe her but let it go. Today, at her family's birthday party for her, I drank heavily to muster the courage for what I did. I went to her room, claiming I felt ill and lay on her bed. I told her I was leaving and ordered an Uber. I'm in the Uber now, writing this with the iPad I gave her. While in her room, I found it and uncovered everything. The day she turned off her location, she was with a guy she plays Call of Duty with. I missed how often they played and how she laughed at his jokes. Their messages revealed months of flirting, a hotel meetup the day after he picked her up from work, kissing in his car, and her lying to him that we'd broken up. She sent him photos of hickeys, sent at 9:45 p.m. while I was breaking down on the phone, and she was reassuring me. She also texted her school friend, celebrating her cheating and laughing about deceiving me. I found flirty messages with multiple Uber drivers, learned the ring she said was her late grandmother's was from an ex, and saw messages to that ex claiming she was single and still loved him. There were sexual messages with her Call of Duty friend from the day I surprised her for Thanksgiving, and photos sent to other men during our outings together. She talked about marrying me while doing all this. I'm not usually vindictive, but I've had enough. Before posting, I sent screenshots of her conversations to her friends who'd be ashamed, her family who'd disown her, her Call of Duty group who didn't know about her double life, my family, our mutual friends, and her school friend who enabled her. Everyone who believed in us will know the truth. You broke my trust. Now face the consequences. Update 1, July 3, 2025. Thank you for the overwhelming support and kind words after my post. I'm doing okay. Something shifted when I read those messages. For the first time, I realized I deserve love, starting with myself. Out of all my options, my choice felt like the wisest. Confronting her privately could have let her twist the narrative or gaslight me. Making a scene at the party, surrounded by her family and friends, would have been a losing battle. So I left and let the truth unfold. To clarify, we shared locations on our iPhones, so I wasn't tracking her. The photos weren't explicit, and I only sent text conversations, not images. That's a line I wouldn't cross. After leaving, I took an Uber home, grabbed essentials, and stayed at a friend's place. I felt okay, but expected the adrenaline to fade. I've started therapy, booked an STI test, and signed up for boxing and pottery classes to stay active. One of her Call of Duty friends contacted me. The guy she was with is married with a child. I hope his wife learns the truth. That friend said she's been kicked from their gaming group. Our mutual friends have been supportive. One even dropped her as a bridesmaid and blocked her. Things seemed to settle until I returned home this morning. I'd blocked her on everything, but she showed up, waiting in her parents' car. When I approached my door, she got out, crying hysterically with a mix of sorrow and anger. I didn't say a word, just went inside and shut the door. She shouted until she left. She didn't mention the post, so I assume she hasn't seen it. Later, her brother called to apologize for their family. He said everything seemed fine after I left until their mom checked her phone. She confronted my ex quietly, but their loud aunt yelled about the cheating in front of everyone. Their family has a painful history with infidelity, and this reopened old wounds while exposing new betrayals that night. The party was meant to reunite estranged relatives, but it turned chaotic. The friend who encouraged the cheating was berated by the family and left crying. Her brother doesn't blame me and said I handled it better than most would. He offered support if I need it. I feel guilty for unintentionally disrupting a family trying to heal, unaware of their deeper issues. Update 2, July 15, 2025. Mentally, I'm managing, though it's been tough. Some days are easier than others. I'm tempted to unblock her to see what she'd say, but I won't. A quote I saw online keeps me grounded. No amount of "I love you" can erase that you saw my value, weighed it against your desires, and chose the desires. It's my phone's wallpaper now, reminding me to stay strong. Health-wise, I'm clear so far, but will keep getting tested for safety. I'm looking to move to avoid her showing up again. Therapy's been helpful, and while I'm terrible at pottery, I'll keep going. I still feel some guilt about her family's fallout. I didn't create their issues, but I sparked the exposure. One of her friends messaged me, calling me cruel for posting publicly and saying I should have confronted her privately. I didn't reply, After all this, I'm done justifying my healing to her enablers. I'm focused on moving forward.